My name is Sheba, and today I'll be discussing the 3 questions which highlight important aspects of giving an academic presentation. Firstly, plagiarism is the process of passing off someone else's ideas or writings as your own. Plagiarism ranges from copying another person's material without acknowledgement, paraphrasing another person's work without giving credit to the owner, and using someone else's ideas without permission. It is always important to verbally acknowledge the source and the information used during a presentation to ensure the reliability and sincerity of the information being presented. The act of orally citing the references is also critical because it makes a presentation more informative and credible. The audience would also be able to identify who has done a nice job of research, hence the reliability of the information. The presentation is free of instances of plagiarism when the sources of the material used are being cited. It is also a good way to respect the work of existing researchers whose works are being used to support one idea. The first principle for concluding an informative speech relates to being brief and concise in the conclusion, and I also believe this standard is necessary because it allows restatement of the highlights used during the speech. It will also enable the audience to recall the important aspects of the presentation without going through the entire content. The second principle is in concluding an informative speech relates to always ending with the memorable closing. This is important because a presentation should always be concluded with a quotation or statement to provide closure of what is being argued. A presenter should also refrain from saying this is all or that's it because it would be rude to the audience. Instead, they should always conclude with a thought-provoking statement or a quote to leave a good impression of their presentation. I also believe that a presenter should also be able to relate their closing to the introduction of their presentation because this highlights the main issue they wanted the audience to understand from their speech. Finally, for my informative presentation, I intend to use the topical organizational pattern. This is because it enables a presenter to develop their presentation in separate categories and present the ideas in clear sections. I believe that this organizational pattern is preferable for me rather than the chronological pattern, cause and effect pattern, or spatial pattern because it will enable me to present my topic in discrete segments. In summary, plagiarism is passing off someone else's ideas as their own, and it is also critical to acknowledge the source of their information used during a presentation because it allows the presenter to appear reliable and sincere and also provides a mechanism to avoid plagiarism. Also, it is critical to note that an effective conclusion to a speech should be brief and concise and always end with a memorable closing statement. Finally, I would like to conclude by noting that it is also always important to use the topical organizational pattern because it enables one to present their ideas in discrete segments, hence why it is more easier for the audience to follow and understand the presenter. Thank you.